Welcome to News Today with Universal Parks News Today. I'm Eric Morton, and here is the news for May 13th, 2021. Universal Orlando is expanding its recent hiring efforts, searching for more than 2,000 new team members for full-time, part-time, seasonal, and professional career opportunities across the entire resort. Positions are available in all areas, including the in-house call center, attractions, aquatics, food services, culinary, custodial, warehouse operations, merchandise, sales, and more. Universal Orlando is also hiring additional lifeguards to support Volcano Bay. In the coming weeks, specific hiring events will be held for those positions. There are also numerous professional career opportunities available supporting tech services, IT, marketing and sales, and more. These leadership opportunities offer competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits packages. Last week, we noticed that Universal Studios Florida was getting ready to open a new tribute store following the end of Mardi Gras 2021 International Flavors of Carnival and the closure of its tribute store. We were excited to see the reveal of the tribute store's theme, Jurassic World. The reveal of the store comes 1 month ahead of Jurassic World VelociCoaster's grand opening, although we already wrote it during the pass holder previews, as you have seen and we talked about last week. Though the ride will be in Jurassic Parkland of Universal's Islands of Adventure, the tribute store is in Universal Studios Florida. An archway resembling the iconic entrance to Jurassic World frames the store's doors, and Jurassic-like foliage surrounds the entrance. The Jurassic World symbol, as well as the name of the store, sit atop the archway. No opening has been announced for Jurassic World Tribute Store yet, but we can't wait to see what surprises await us inside. Summer is on the horizon, and Universal Orlando is bringing the flavor to a new food festival. 3 venues have popped up around Universal Studios Florida, with a 4th reportedly on its way. We dropped by the stand at Battery Park under the pavilion by the lagoon across from Mel's Drive-In Restaurant and the Transformers The Ride 3D, and the San Francisco food truck next to Chez Alcatraz by the lagoon in San Francisco to see what new treats were in store. Head on over to universalparksnewstoday.com for full reviews on these new summer bites. Central Park Crepes at Universal Studios Florida has 2 new crepes in time for the park's summer food festival. The new seasonal crepe is raspberry and passion fruit cream, while a plant-based chicken crepe has replaced the vegan sausage. We tried both and have, again, full reviews over at universalparksnewstoday.com. We got to finally join the hunt on Jurassic World VelociCoaster at Islands of Adventure earlier in the week. With previews over, the attraction closed seemingly for a month before its grand opening on June 10th. Last Thursday, rumors of a soft opening didn't quite come to fruition, although we saw team members setting up for one. On Friday afternoon, however, the ride was open to guests. The sign for the coaster still advertises a June 10th opening. Guests flooded the walkway leading to VelociCoaster before being able to organize into a line. Team members and velociraptors welcomed us. We previously took you on a tour of the highly themed standby queue, but then on this day, we headed through the single rider entrance. Despite the sign saying closed, the single rider queue was open during the technical rehearsal. The single rider queue takes guests up to the Velociraptor statue, then veers off to the right. Single riders have access to their own locker room as well. Unfortunately, single riders then skip most of the themed queue, including the windows showing the coaster's launch and the grooming stations where the guests see the angry velociraptors in muzzles. After the lockers, single riders are directed through a metal detector. No recording devices are currently allowed. And then to the pre-show area and straight onto the ride. It was a much shorter wait, but lacking all the exciting elements of the main queue. Last week, we updated you on some new merchandise that had arrived, featuring our old pal, Mr. DNA, and some dinos. But even more has been unearthed in Jurassic Park at Islands of Adventure, including t-shirts, tank tops, socks, and more. Again, check out universalparksnewstoday.com for pictures of these items and a little bit more information. If you're stepping into Seuss Landing for some sweet treats, you'll need to switch up your stop. Snookers and Snookers Sweet Candy Cookers is closed as it undergoes refurbishment at Islands of Adventure. The High in the Sky Seuss Trolley train ride now exits into Honk Honkers, which is serving as a temporary candy shop during the closure. Construction walls have been installed around Snookers and Snookers Sweet Candy Cookers. Say that 5 times fast. A sign outside the shuttered shop directs guests to visit Honk Honkers store for all our candy galore. The exit from the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley train ride used to lead into Snookers and Snookers here. The front entrance to Honk Honkers is seen from the street. The new exit path for the ride leads to Honk Honkers. Inside, you'll find many of the same sweet treats from Snickers and Snickers. The candy wall has a sanitization setup right off there to the side. Here you can find bags for the candy, an inflating glove machine, and hand sanitizer. Honk Honkers formerly operated as a cotton candy shop specializing in over-the-top creations. It closed in the early 2020 timeframe. The wood structures on the counter used to house the cotton candy machines, but are now being used to display sweets. The shop is not very big, so it can get crowded when the guests exit the ride. Just be prepared. Our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has returned to his former location at the back of the Marvel Alternative store. Located in Marvel Superhero Island at Islands of Adventure, this meet and greet location also offers a green screen photo opportunity. If you head to the left side of the Marvel Alternative store, you'll see an entrance to meet up with everyone's favorite web slinger. Inside, just past the merchandise, there's a counter to purchase photos or add them to your My Universal Photos package. We noticed the screens are still displaying the old 6 feet rule for physical distancing, even though Universal Orlando Resort switched to a 3 feet rule last week. There are 2 photo options when you meet Spider-Man. You can take a green screen photo as previewed at the photo counter, and Spider-Man does not join you at the green screen, but is added digitally to the photo as part of the background. You can also snap a shot with Spider-Man in front of this barricade. The gate helps maintain the 3 feet distance markings between you and Spider-Man. Before today, Spider-Man was meeting guests on a small stage outdoors. The indoor setting allows a more traditional one-on-one interaction with the Avenger and, of course, this unique photo opportunity. He's the Star-Spangled Man with a plan and new menu item. Captain America Diner at Marvel Superhero Island is now offering a double crunch chicken sandwich, and we stopped by for lunch at Universal's Islands of Adventure to check it out. The platter comes with fries for $12.99, and you can upgrade to a combo with your choice of chocolate, vanilla, or swirled shake for $16.49. Read our full review over at universalparksnewstoday.com. Last month, Universal Studios Hollywood announced that out-of-state guests aged 16 and up would be allowed to visit the park, but must purchase tickets at the gate on the day of their visit. Well, now Universal has updated their policy to allow out-of-state guests to purchase advanced one-day tickets online and reserve their spot in the parks. Entry is still restricted to the age of 16 plus, as guests must be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Guests are now able to select out-of-state resident one day or Universal Express on Universal Studios Hollywood's website. Tickets are sold for specific dates and include a theme park reservation for the guest. Out-of-state guests must show full proof of COVID-19 vaccination and photo ID at the gate. At this time, sales of annual passes are limited to California residents only. However, if you're an out-of-state guest with an existing valid annual pass, you can use it, but some restrictions do apply. While Universal Studios Hollywood reopened on April 15th with a number of attractions and new COVID-19 safety protocols, several attractions did not immediately open with the park, including the Simpsons ride, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, and Animal Actors. Well, now another attraction has returned for guests to enjoy. As of May 7th, Kung Fu Panda Adventure uses indoor projection mapping, 360-degree surround sound, and sweeping physical effects to take guests on a thrilling journey of awesomeness destined to stimulate your senses, exercise your wit, and unlock the hero within through the power of Kung Fu, according to the Universal Studios Hollywood website anyway. It's been a while since we had an update on the construction of Super Nintendo World, so we dropped by to see what's new. Super Nintendo World construction began back in August of 2020. It wasn't officially confirmed for Universal Studios Hollywood until December. Unfortunately, well, not much is noticeably different. Given the layout and location of the land, crews on the lower level are hard to spot, and work inside show buildings may be progressing, but we can't really see it. Some crew members were active inside the upper level and atop the tall crane lift. The blue lift is at the highest point of Super Nintendo World, which in Japan at least is the top of the facade for Yoshi's Adventure. The crane is visible from outside Jurassic World, the ride. We also were able to catch some photos from the queue for Jurassic World, the ride. Both levels of Super Nintendo World are framed with ongoing infrastructure work. Cables can be seen hanging from the ceiling on both floors. For a peek at what we might expect when Super Nintendo World opens in California, maybe take a look at our video tour from Universal Studios Japan here on this YouTube channel. We dropped by Jurassic Cafe to try something new. The restaurant officially opened in March during the Taste of Universal event alongside the new Minion Cafe. The blue and white of the Jurassic Cafe matches the theming that overtook the area back in 2019 when Jurassic Park the Ride received the Jurassic World makeover. Indoor dining is available here, with some tables unavailable to promote physical distancing. The Coca-Cola Freestyle machines are not available at this time due to COVID-19 protocols. Universal provides instructions for their designated dining areas, requiring indoor diners to have no more than 6 guests per table, keep face coverings on unless actively eating or drinking, put on a mask whenever a team member approaches, and wash their hands. All the stuff we all know. We tried the barbecue brisket sandwich, spiced cashew brittle, and the Raptor refresher. Read our full reviews here on UniversalParksNewsToday.com. Universal Studios Japan announced this week that their park closure will be extended until further notice due to the state of emergency extension in Osaka Prefecture. Universal Studios Japan originally closed on April 25th due to confusing policy which places theme parks in the same set of restrictions as sports and other events. Events were asked by the Osaka Prefectural government to hold their performances without audiences, obviously an impractical request to make of a theme park. Set to end on May 11th originally, the closure is now extended until further notice. This comes in spite of the Japanese government relaxing restrictions that it found to make little to no difference in preventing the spread of COVID-19 in hard-hit areas like Tokyo and Osaka, including requests to close department stores, hold events without an audience, and close the theme parks. All of these restrictions have been relaxed by the central government themselves, with events like theme parks able to return to 5,000 people or 50% capacity, whichever is lower, and must conclude by 9 p.m. Governor Hirofumi Yoshimura of Osaka, however, declined to lift these restrictions. In spite of Osaka Prefecture's decision, neighboring Hyogo and Kyoto prefectures, also under emergency, are taking up these new rules and allowing department stores, theme parks, etc. to reopen under the new restrictions that are outlined by the central Japanese government. And while Universal Studios Japan remains closed due to this state of emergency in Osaka, the park has not forgotten the healthcare workers in Osaka and the rest of Japan, working tirelessly as the UK variant of the COVID-19 virus fills hospitals to capacity in the Kansai area. In tribute, the park released a special video featuring violinists from the park's East Meets West Quartet playing in front of the park's Universal Globe, lit in blue as a tribute. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to UniversalParksNewsToday.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Universal Parks News Today on YouTube for more great content, click that bell for notifications, and make sure to hit select all notifications so that you never miss an episode of News Today with Universal Parks News Today. For UPNT, this is Eric Morton saying the future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one.
Pressing Issues is the spin-off of the WDW News Today podcast segment as a long-form panel discussion in which some of the brightest minds of WDWNT analyze the biggest stories of the week and their impact on the Walt Disney Company, its parks, guests, and cast members. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, or afterward on the WDW News Today podcast feed.